Welcome back to Drinks and Football. My name is Gio,
And I'm Matt,
and we're Drinks and Football, where we talk about football.
and we drink. I don't know about you. Are you actually drinking something this time?
I am
Oh, what are you drinking?
whiskey and Coke.
Oh, look at you drinking whiskey and Coke. I, for once, am not drinking anything because I'm kind of under the weather, which is why we're doing this remotely this time instead of together.
Yep.
So if it sounds different or if we sound different, that may be why, because we're not actually together this time.
That's exactly the reason why.
So Gio's drinking for both of us.
I am. Yep, so we had a pretty crazy weekend and week so far.
Oh my God.
A lot of news came out, a lot of expected news or non-expected news didn't
Yeah.
come to fruition. Fruition?
What was that word you just said?
I didn't say any word.
Okay.
All right.
First, let's talk about last Thursday night's game, which was Green Bay at Arizona.
Oh my gosh. The fact that Green Bay won is just amazing. It's so awesome that the fact they won. They had so many players injured. They were without their top 3 receivers. 2 offensive linemen were down. 2 defensive backs were down. Arizona was undefeated. It was in Arizona, but they pulled it off. They pulled it off with the run game, and that was just so awesome.
Yeah, and didn't Kyler Murray get hurt? Or I know he's out for a few weeks going forward, right?
Is he?
I think-
I didn't hear about that.
I think
he
he
played
is.
the whole game.
I think I saw that Kyler Murray is injured. Oh, he's questionable for next
Oh, he's
week.
question. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's questionable for next week at San Francisco. J.J. Watt, though, is going to be out versus San Francisco.
I think he's out for the whole year.
I don't know. It just says out for next week. Maybe, but I don't know. We'll see. Moving on to Sunday's games. Carolina at Atlanta. I had picked Atlanta for that one,
So did I.
but the Panthers pulled it off.
I didn't think they were going to do it, but they did. Buffalo and Miami. Well, Buffalo won that single-handedly. Whatever score it was,
Yeah, 26
Yeah.
to 11. I picked Buffalo. And
I picked Buffalo.
moving on, 49ers at the Bears.
San Francisco won that one. Chicago looked better in that game than the past games. Justin Fields, he did 100-yard rushing and a touchdown. So that's,
Yeah, I saw that
Big
one, that highlight that they showed. It was a pretty long run.
I think it was like 16 yards or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 4th and something, and he just took off.
And I'm just here saying good things about Chicago. Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where you look at the score, it was 15 to 10,
Yes.
but the game showed that Cleveland should have won that game. There were just so many drops, unexpected turnovers where it was like fumbles.
There were way too many drop passes in that one.
So I mean, Cleveland's defense held Pittsburgh down.
I'll talk about that one here a little bit more later. Let's go ahead and move on to Philadelphia at Detroit.
So I picked Detroit, and Detroit did 6 points against the next not so great team in Philadelphia.
I don't get Philadelphia. Like, I picked Philadelphia as well, just because I just didn't think Detroit was going to win this. But I didn't think Philadelphia was going to blow them out. Like, I had a question mark by this one.
I thought Detroit was like the strongest no-win team, even though they're their only no-win team. But they kept everything close. But this game, it seemed like they weren't there.
Yeah.
Indianapolis and Tennessee.
I picked Tennessee.
I picked Indy. And I'm just losing nonstop here. Indy almost won until they
Yeah.
did that terrible pass by Carson Wentz, and that just basically sealed it from there.
But what happened in that game, Derrick Henry got hurt, and he's out until at least week 15. Week 15 is his expected return, I should say. It's going to be interesting to see what Tennessee does, because, I mean, he is that team's offense, so...
Yeah, basically, 90% of it is him.
Yeah, so it's like you've got Derrick Henry, and then all the other running backs in the league, basically, it's like a race for second.
Cincinnati and Jets.
Yeah, so I picked Cincinnati because
I think
Cincinnati's
Cincinnati
been
too.
hot and the Jets suck,
And this one, the Jets look like a Super Bowl team.
right? It was
No,
Joe
there were
Flacco,
still
man.
there were still like 2
No, I'm just
interceptions
kidding.
there.
He didn't even play.
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
it
who
was
played?
it was a guy named Mike White.
Mike White. Who are you, Mike White?
Exactly.
Anyway, Rams
Rams
at
and Houston.
Rams won that one. I think we both picked the Rams. No surprise there. New England at the Chargers.
And I picked New England on this one.
I picked the Chargers.
Yes.
Dang it.
Ha. Yeah, so New England won. They did very well. They also won in LA, which is also another great thing. Mac Jones looked good. That defense is starting to look a lot better now. I think everyone's starting to get more comfortable. And New England is now, I think, at 500, right?
Yep, they're 4-4. Yeah, Mac Jones, and I'm happy to see him doing well. I think he's of the rookies this year. None of the rookies are really doing amazing, but I think he is kind of on the top
Oh,
of that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Justin Fields is sort of approaching that, but I think Mac Jones is at the top of that right now.
Jacksonville and
at
Seattle.
I picked Seattle.
I picked Seattle. After that one win by Jacksonville, you know what? I'm never going to pick him. Trevor Lawrence, he's just not good, not playing good at all. I'm not going to say he's not good. He's just not playing to that number one pick status. All right. Then we got Washington and Denver.
Denver
I picked
won
Washington.
that one. I picked Denver.
I picked Washington. Oh, I was on the roll there. Um, I thought Washington will be able to pull off. They were looking good the past couple of weeks, and I was wrong on that one.
Neither one of these two teams has impressed me that much. Like, I feel like the way the season started, I had higher expectations for both teams, and then they just kind of fell off. And I basically gave it to Denver because of home field advantage.
Then we got Tampa Bay and New Orleans.
What is going on with the Saints?
See, I knew it. I was like, maybe I should choose New Orleans, but you know what? I'm picking Tampa Bay, but I am not confident in this game.
Yeah, I picked Tampa Bay as well.
But I wasn't confident. I just I should have just gone with that gut there. But
Yeah,
New Orleans, their defense kicked into action on that one
they did.
with 3 turnovers, all from Tom Brady,
That's
and
crazy.
a pick 6.
That is
And
crazy.
it's where the pick 6 came from. It came right at the end of the game too, where Tom Brady's known to do these miraculous 2-minute drills where he's able to go down and score and do a field goal or a touchdown when need be. This time he threw a pick 6, a touchdown to the wrong team. Dallas
at
and Minnesota.
I picked Dallas.
I picked Dallas.
And that was a pretty close game as well.
I didn't know Dak was not going to play in this game.
I didn't know that either.
And then Cooper Rush came in, and he looked sluggish in the beginning, but he hasn't done a start, I don't think, at all. So he just basically came in ice cold and was able to warm up in the second half. He did good, scoring that game-winning touchdown to Amari Cooper at the end. So I'm pretty sure you were excited about that one.
Like, I don't like rooting for the Cowboys, but I like rooting for Amari Cooper. So it's like, okay, what do I do? He needs to go to a different team. That's just what needs to happen. And then finally we had the Giants at Kansas City.
All right, so I picked Giants.
I actually picked the Giants too. Like, we both picked this as our upset, and Kansas City came through.
And that upset was getting there. It was close. They picked Mahomes off in the end zone, which was like a tip ball into a pick, but still picked him off.
All right, let me add it up here. I was 7-8.
You were 7-8?
Man, in week 6 I was 11-3. That's what happens when the Jets win. It just like throws everything off.
Okay, so it looks like we were both tied on that one with 7-8.
Yeah, so I think we're still tied for the season because I think last week you came back.
Yeah, I came back and we were tied.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Okay.
Yep. Are we at the midway point now?
Yeah.
Or after this week it will be?
We'll call it week 9 as the midway point.
Okay.
You know, a lot of talk about the Raiders ever since John Gruden left. Today they have another reason to be in the headlines, another not good reason to be in the headlines. Henry Ruggs.
Early on Tuesday morning, like around 3 a.m. or something, he got into a car accident. He was charged with a DUI, and there was another one involved with one of the ones in the car accident lost their life. So, yeah, just not a very good look for Henry Ruggs there.
Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs could face up to 20 years in prison for his involvement in accident.
It's considered
like intoxication,
manslaughter after that.
Manslaughter, yeah. How? Because I mean, I'm sure he was just out having fun or whatever, and then made the bad decision to drive home, and that just changes your whole life right there.
And this was his rookie year too, right?
Yeah. No, but yeah, that sucks. And I mean, he's from Alabama, of course, so I'm always going to root for him and anyone else who's from Alabama. I think that 20 years, obviously he hasn't gone to trial yet. Regardless if he gets the 20 years or not, like, he's done in the NFL. Moving on to another subject. The trade deadline just went by. So there were a few trades that happened here the last minute like there always is, and also a few trades that didn't happen at the last minute that some were thinking might. A couple of those being Deshaun Watson not being traded from the Texans, and also
No.
Odell Beckham not
Beckham
being
didn't.
traded from the Browns.
And the Browns seemed pretty stiff on that one of not wanting to trade him. And I think Deshaun Watson, I don't know what kind of choice. I think they didn't want to trade him to the team that Deshaun Watson wanted to be traded to because he has that no trade clause. So I think that's where it's going on with that one.
I got you.
But yeah, Odell Beckham not being traded was, I thought there was a couple of places where he may have gone, but there's also different reports saying that I think one former GM said that multiple teams didn't want them on their team.
From what I saw, I think they did get some offers for Odell Beckham, but the offers that they were getting weren't good enough.
Then we got the big one,
Yeah.
Von Miller to the Rams.
Von Miller to the Rams, and what did they get for that? The Broncos.
Second and third.
Isn't that crazy
Yep.
for Von Miller?
I mean, of course, he's not the player that he once was, but still, adding him. And then I'm pretty sure it was the team that he wasn't. That's the reason why he wasn't having the same numbers as he did previously. Denver's team is not doing very well this year, or even the past couple of years, too. I know players won't say that they do this, but I'm pretty sure he's one of them where when your team is losing, that effort you give is not as strong as if you're winning.
Mm-hmm.
Now going into a team that only has one loss, almost mid-season, playing with Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd, he's going to be getting one-on-ones more consistently than he would be at Denver.
Yeah, I think he'll have a much bigger impact there just because there at the Rams, he is part of the defense as opposed to in Denver where basically he was the defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Another linebacker that got traded was Melvin Ingram, got traded from the Steelers to the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, for only a 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you're happy about that. You don't have to see...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy when Steelers trade, good players away.
But I'm not sure if he was really involved in that rotation.
Yeah.
But I don't follow Steelers as much.
I was surprised to see that he only went for a 6th-round pick, but like you said, I don't know how big of an impact he was really having on that team. I mean, at this point, the Chiefs can use all the help they can get on defense, so that's probably a great pickup for them. I feel like there wasn't much going on here at the trade deadline.
No, it seems like this happens every year where I say, oh my gosh, the trade deadline and all this stuff is going to be happening. I want this player, and then nothing happens, and I'm just like, oh. And then it's going to happen the same year, next year. I mean, even I know probably nothing's going to happen, just that anticipation.
Yeah.
That something could happen.
All right, so, Gio, your Packers, they beat the Cardinals.
Yep.
Giving them their first loss of the season. And now, coming up this week, they're going to play Kansas City. So what is your thoughts on the state of the Packers after Week 8 going into Week 9?
I know that it's a big thing, especially a lot of those players are going to be coming back. We got Alan Czar coming back, MVS coming back. If Devontae can pass his two tests without any symptoms, he's going to be coming back. I think their left tackle may or may not be coming back for this game, Kansas City. But I'm still worried about this game because Patrick Mahomes, even though he's playing not as well as he has been playing with the last few years, he still can have that one good game, and I'm worried that he's going to have that one good game against us.
Yeah.
Because it only takes one good game. And so that's what I'm worried about. And still in Kansas City. Kansas City is not an easy place to play, especially towards later on in the season. I know the defense is still showing that they are not playing up to par, especially allowing Daniel Jones to keep it that close to them. And the Giants are just not a top-tier team, but still, it's still worrisome.
I'm not going to lie, I was kind of hoping that my team would trade Beckham to your team. I thought that would have been a really good trade. I don't know if the Packers would have sent over draft picks or another player or what, but I was like, you know what? I feel like Green Bay would be a really good fit for Odell Beckham Jr., and it would give Rodgers like a solid number 2 receiver.
And this is not taking away from Odell Beckham because I still think he's a really good player, even though he's been not showing up these last few years according to like his stats and things in that part. But I think Baker Mayfield plays much better without Odell Beckham in the
Yeah.
lineup. It seems like he's not forced to throw the ball to him. And I think Odell Beckham is more of the type of player that it has to be not focused on him, but he'll need a little bit more of a player that's been there a little bit longer.
Because Cleveland is a run-first team. Baker Mayfield throwing the ball is always going to be the second option. And Odell Beckham can't always be his first option when he does throw the ball. So that's why I feel like him with a team like Green Bay, where you've got Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest passers ever, I think Odell could do a lot there. So I don't know. We'll see how that turns out with Baker and
Yeah.
Odell. And I guess this is a good segue to kind of start talking about Cleveland. They just need to kind of work out Baker. Odell can't always be your go-to guy. And I feel like the past maybe week or 2 or 3 that he's sort of realized that and tried to disperse the ball a little bit more. And Odell Beckham has to realize that you're not going to be the number one receiver on this team. Baker Mayfield's got other receivers that he has a better rapport with, maybe not on a personal level, but at least on the playing field, that he's more comfortable throwing to.
I don't know, like Peoples-Jones, he's been doing really well, and then all of a sudden he's not even being targeted once Jarvis came back and Odell was playing. And I
Yeah.
think he's one of those that, like, reliable. I'm not sure what his catching numbers are or what his percentage is in terms of drop passes and missed balls, but I don't know, every time I see it, like, he's always making these crazy catches.
So I'm hoping that he's not, I don't know if avoiding is the right word, but I'll just use that word because I can't think of another one. I hope he's not avoiding Peoples-Jones in favor of Odell. I don't know. This is something that we talk about a lot, and it's just something that they're going to have to work out on that team.
Yeah.
But we're playing Cleveland next week, or we're playing Cincinnati next week. Cincinnati, like Cleveland, looked really good there for a while, and then they go and lose to the Jets. I expect this game, honestly, to be a little bit more high scoring. Let's go ahead and get into our picks for week 9. So the Thursday night game is the New York Jets at Indianapolis. Who you got?
The Indianapolis.
I got Indianapolis as well, just because even though they lost, they're still kind of on an upward trend, and the Jets...
Yeah, I think that was just a one-off game.
Yeah, I think so,
Unless
too.
they're going to prove me wrong this week, then that'll just be terrible.
Sunday, we got Cleveland at Cincinnati. I'm picking Cleveland just because I think we just need to put together a good game. We need to start the game off running the ball and let that be our go-to and just avoid getting in those third and long situations.
Yeah, I'm picking Cleveland because it's Cleveland.
Next, Denver
Dallas and
at Dallas.
Denver. I'm picking Dallas.
You're picking Dallas? I'm
Yep.
picking Dallas as well. Yeah.
It's a home game. I don't know if Dak will play or not, but even if Cooper Rush plays, I think that defense did a great job as stopping Kirk Cousins, and I think they'll do the same with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. Houston at Miami?
Picking Miami
So am I.
because Houston has shown that they're just not good since that first game.
Houston just sucks. I mean, Miami sucks too, but not as much as Houston.
New Orleans and Atlanta,
Oh, this is a tough
a
one.
division game. I'm going with New Orleans.
I'm going with Atlanta.
Ooh, okay.
I am going with Atlanta just because New Orleans is down a couple players. Well, they're down Jameis Winston, and they've been so inconsistent. And I feel like this is the time they're going to be inconsistent in favor of the
Again?
other team. Yeah.
I think that defense is showing up more and more lately, and I think that they'll be able to show up against Atlanta in that Superdome. Las Vegas and Giants.
I went with Las Vegas.
I went with Las Vegas on this one too. This trend that Vegas has been going upwards on has been really good, and I think they'll continue that.
Yeah, you had Las Vegas along with Denver and Carolina, all who are kind of like surprises coming out the gate, starting 3-0. And they are the only one who, yeah, they've had a couple of losses, but they haven't shown me that they were pretenders like the other teams did.
New England and Carolina.
I picked New England.
I picked New England too. Belichick is finally get that defense to play what we all seen the Patriots play with their defense, and Mac Jones, I think he's finally getting comfortable with his reads. Buffalo and Jacksonville.
I'm picking Jacksonville.
Really?
No.
Oh. I wouldn't say anything if you did, other than really. I picked Buffalo too. Josh
Yeah, I
Allen,
picked
he
Buffalo.
just, I don't know, he's on another level right now.
There's not much else to say about that one.
Baltimore, Minnesota.
I picked Baltimore.
I picked Baltimore too.
It's at home, and Baltimore's just too good.
I don't know. Baltimore defense has been like a little iffy lately, so it might be closer than we think it is.
I don't know. I feel like Kirk Cousins has been a little iffy lately too, especially in the game against Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Chargers and Philadelphia.
So I picked the Chargers, but honestly, I have no clue. I feel like
Are we going to get the Philadelphia that went against Detroit or the Philadelphia that played every other game?
right.
The Chargers that played every other game or the play that
Chargers
was
that
against
played
New
against
England?
New England, yeah. I'm going with the Chargers on this one just because I think we're going to get the regular Chargers here
Yeah.
and the regular Eagles here. All right.
Green Bay
at
and
City.
Kansas.
I picked Green Bay because it's Green Bay.
I picked Green Bay because it's Green Bay. This is in Kansas City, and I don't know why Kansas City is not in Kansas. Why is it in Missouri? Always confuses me.
I think it's like on the border between Kansas and Missouri.
Hmm.
I think it's like Texarkana. Like
Oh,
how part of
okay.
it's in Texas and part of it's in Arkansas.
So we got Arizona and San Francisco.
I picked Arizona.
I picked Arizona too.
Even though Kyler Murray is out, I feel like the rest of that team is good enough that, or he's questionable.
Yeah, questionable
it's
is not
confirmed.
out. It just means that you're questionable.
Yeah. So he's questionable, but I think even if Kyler Murray wasn't going to play, that they would still be able to win that game.
Because they've shown before at Green Bay, they were doing 30 points a game and they were holding their opponents down to less than 20 points. So, I mean, they were there. It just, I don't know. All right. So we got the Rams and Tennessee as
Yep.
the Sunday night game.
Sunday night, I picked the Rams.
I picked the Rams too.
Okay.
I think I picked the Rams because I think that Tennessee losing King Henry is going to be a big blow to overcome in 1
Oh,
week.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to overcome that, especially not against the Rams with their Von Miller.
Yeah, I don't know if Von Miller's going to be playing because I know he had that ankle injury. So I don't know if he's going to be playing that game or not.
And then for the
Pittsburgh
Monday night game,
and
something
Chicago.
tells me we picked opposite teams here.
Really?
I picked Chicago.
I picked Pittsburgh.
Yep, I figured.
I mean, I can't pick Chicago. Even though I picked Detroit, like, winning the last 7 weeks, and then they were letting me down every week.
Yeah. I don't think Pittsburgh is as bad as a lot of people think they are, but Chicago is kind of starting to show up.
Nope, I think
So-
Chicago is as bad as they are.
Anyway, I think Chicago's better than Pittsburgh, and I think they're going to win that game.
Nope. It's just like just a weird thing about it. So I was like, I think Pittsburgh will win. I don't want Pittsburgh to win because, you know, it affects Cleveland's playoff chances. And
Yeah.
Chicago winning, I don't think that will affect Green Bay's chances
Yeah,
of winning
no, it's
that
not
division.
going to impact
just-
anything at all.
But the fact that Chicago winning, even though, you know, the fact that Chicago wins one game is already too much.
Yeah. All right, so those are our picks for week 9. We'll see how many of them we got wrong. I think we only had that last one and Atlanta and New Orleans. I think those are the only games that we disagreed with.
Who knows? Like that might be the tiebreaker right there, those two games.
It might be. All right, well, that has been it for Drinks and Football today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And again, like if it sounded weird, it's because we're recording it differently this time. And if I sound weird, it's because I'm sick. If Gio sounds weird, it's just because that's how he sounds.
Yeah,
You're
thanks
welcome.
for that.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.